Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
So what's happening over there? Is that your cousin in the background?
Oh, yes, this is Boo. His name was Boo. Yeah.
Hello, Boo.
Yeah.
So
Um,
are people going to be calling from different places, or we're all going to be on the same one with you?
Same one with me.
Okay.
So let me know what you want to do because nobody's ever done this here.
Okay. That's all
So
right.
they're all nervous. But I was thinking I'd introduce you to Jesse and then you guys can have your conversations. And he wants to bring in his girlfriend. Um, and she's very big support system for him and his mom.
Okay.
That's the only people here.
Well,
He's nervous to
is he,
talk to you.
well, that's okay. We'll fix that right away. I mean,
Yeah.
that's understandable, but it's, because you don't know what's coming on, the nervousness of the unknown. Is there anything else that you want me to check in with you while you're here right now and we're talking? Is there anything I can do for you before we get started with them?
I love you, Doc.
I
I
love
just
you.
appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you. You want to bring them in and then you can like stick around or take off whatever you feel is best and see if we can
Do
get
you think yeah, let me know, like just say when you're ready for me to leave the room, whenever you
well, I
feel.
think you could feel it. I mean,
Okay.
if they're gonna get to a point where it's something really, really private.
All right. So I will bring him in now. Let me go get him.
Okay.
Okay. Doc.
Yes.
Dr. Michaels, this is Jesse,
Hey, Jesse.
my cousin.
How you doing, Jesse?
Oops.
I'm doing.
I'm doing well. I'm going to try my best to make it as like weird, less weird for you to be doing this over the Zoom, but I got your back. Don't worry about this. And
Wait, did you talk?
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Oh, he's
So is it Jesse, right? Is that your name?
Yes.
Hey, Jesse. I'm Michael. They call me Dr. Michael. Call me whatever you want. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
When I'm looking over here, I'm actually looking at my camera. If you need me to look into the camera so you feel a deep connection, let me know. But I kind of like looking at you, which is over here. So my camera. So it's a little weird that way.
yeah, I think I like you looking better in the camera because it doesn't look like you're looking at us.
But I do want to see him. I want to see because I get a lot of information by facial expressions. So if I look over here, I'll be missing connecting with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little weird. So just kind of work with me on that a little bit, Jesse, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So why don't you start this up, Amy? Why don't you be the one to start this thing so we can both get acclimated together? We'll hear what you're saying, and then I could say something in response to what you're saying, and then see if he wants to add anything, just to make this as organic and comfortable as possible since you put this together.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Doc, for coming in and helping us at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Boo, he was such a great kid. Just had, things that he had to deal with. And, I don't know. He was 19 years old and he overdosed. And the situation is he overdosed on some pills. And Jesse was trying his best to, get him off of it and stop him. But, you can only do so much.
Was it an accidental overdose, or we don't know?
We don't know right now.
What do you guys suspect? Do you suspect accident? Because, I mean, you don't have to be right. And I'm not going to assume that what you're saying is right, but I do want to know what you're thinking. Is it truly, I really don't know? Or I'll say I don't know, but I'm 80% sure it was accidental or intentional. I mean, can you get honest with me about that? Like what you're thinking?
I think he intended to take as many as he did. I don't know if he knew
His limits.
Yeah, his limits.
Right.
He had said a couple statements of where I'll take 20 more. And I just can't wrap my mind around any of it.
So let me see if I'm getting this right, Jesse. Are you thinking that he took 20 more, like he was playing with his limits, knowing that the possibility was that he could die, playing around with the limits, that maybe he was okay if he died, but it wasn't completely 100% intentional? I'm doing this to kill myself. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Are you comfortable hearing me say that back, or does that make you uncomfortable hearing that, or does it bring comfort hearing me say that?
Both.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. How about you, Amy?
I'm uncomfortable. Like I just to think that he took his life and that
Well, let me say what I said again. I'm not sure if he took his life as intentionally. I think that what Jesse was saying, that as he was playing around with his limits and he just went a little higher this time, I don't think it was, I think it
oh
was more like an independent case study. Like he could have come out
yeah.
of that alive and he
Mhm.
would have been surprised or not surprised. And he would have been like, okay, my limit's greater than 20 more. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't like I'm going to kill myself right now. And I'm not sure if you're understanding that that's how I'm framing it. And when you hear that, is there more peace for you in that
Oh,
or less peace?
definitely more peace. Like there's
Good.
more peace. Not yet.
Well, and I would automatically say then that would probably be wise for you to consider that that's probably what happened, even though there's going to be no way we're going to know for sure unless
Mhm.
we find a note that's saying he definitely wanted to do this. But I really agree with you. I don't think we're going to find such a note because I don't think it exists. So I want to
Yeah.
corroborate what you both are saying. I do believe he was playing with his limits and it was an accidental overdose, but he was willing to deal with the consequence if he did take himself his life because but I don't think it was that intentional. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
okay. That's good to know.
Definitely.
So what else, Amy? Give me more of that about the introduction between Jesse. Why is Jesse on this call? How about that? I don't even know. So
Well,
why don't you
I
fill me in?
okay. So Jesse is me. Okay, Jesse is an amazing person. Like I just see so much amazing things that could come out of him. His words are so strong and powerful, Doc.
Cool.
And um I don't think he realizes it. And also, he's dealt with his own addiction for a really long time. And I'm really wanted you to talk to him because I didn't want him to go into his addiction after this because this is, so major.
Well,
And
can I interrupt you? Jesse,
I,
how do you feel right there? Just going 12-step program, she just basically broke your anonymity. I don't know if you do 12-step. Are you comfortable with her sharing all of that? Or is that like, okay, I really wouldn't have went there. I wouldn't have shared all that yet. Or are you comfortable with her sharing that?
I'm comfortable.
Okay.
Uh, I'm really comfortable with it because I'm a intravenous drug user,
Okay.
and not only me acknowledging that and my cousin acknowledging that, it's helpful.
Yeah, I get
So
it.
I can reach out for the right resources because it's easy to slip backwards to fall back into that.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, just in response to what she's already said, what do you think? I mean, do you agree with her? Are you as amazing and you don't realize it? Are you great with your words? Are you strong vocabulary wise and conceptual wise? Do you feel like you're strong in those areas? Or hearing that was just sort of like, well, I'll let her have that thought of me. It's not who I am, but it's interesting to know that this is how she thinks of me. What do you want to say in response to how she was basically describing you to me?
It's dead on,
Oh my God, beautiful. I'll take it.
it's dead on. See, she's right, and I know I can use them. I sometimes I use that in the wrong way.
Right, right. How's your instincts? How's your like, do you can like whether you call it intuitive or just a gut feeling? How do you do with that? Are you a good a judge of character? Are you a good talent scout? How do you are with people? Do you know
Yeah, I
people?
can read people
Okay.
instantly.
Cool. How you doing with me so far? And be honest. Don't have to be sweet. I'm being curious. I'm really serious. How do you feel so far in 5 minutes?
I like it.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking, because my words are pretty strong. So you may be connecting to my languaging. If you really are strong, the way I described, the accidental overdose.
In most situations, when I speak to doctors or social workers, psychiatrists, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
we get on it's kind of like a standoff to
Could
where,
happen. Could happen. I don't think so. Look, I consider myself an independent thought leader. I've created all my own psychotechnologies. What we're doing right now is called greaterness coaching. I'm the developer. I teach it. And so I don't really use conventional methods. I think that conventional methods are great for the average person. Clearly, you're not the average person. I have a fantastic line that says, extraordinary people do not function really well using exclusively conventional methods. Well, luckily for you, I'm hardly conventional, and it'll be a breath of fresh air to go outside the box and hear a professional say things that you probably won't hear anyplace else. So that should help right away, that I'm not married to some philosophy or some infrastructure or some protocol that's kind of average at best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you want to say, Jesse? Are you comfortable kind of where you're at right now? And how would you like to see whatever time we have be used?
I I'm just searching for different avenues that I can exercise and be at peace with my son's passing
Okay.
without having to act out with anger or with uh the self-pity or the guilt that I think I'm carrying
Mm-hmm.
from
Well,
all of this.
right. Well, it's true. Now, the thing about, like, that I think everybody would be concerned about was when a son passes like this, a father, if there's any sense of responsibility, might want to join him. I mean, I know that sounds absolutely insane, or maybe it even makes sense to you. And it would almost be like, to take you out of your pain, like, to kind of to connect with him for all of eternity in this regard, because I long for him. I miss him. And see right there, just that fact that I'm even broaching this topic makes me completely different than anybody else, right? Because who would have the balls to bring this up? But the reality is that's an honest to goodness concern. That for people that love you would be worried about, and that you should also even, that shouldn't be a threat for you to even talk about it, because if you're unwilling to talk about it, it probably has more power over you than if you were willing to talk about it. And what I call authenticating your process, meaning not trying to manipulate the conversation and give some kind of illusion that things are well, or that you don't think that way if you are thinking that way, just to not alarm people or worry people or draw attention to yourself. But the reality is, the more you authenticate your process and tell me exactly what's going on, how you're feeling, things that you consider like that, then the better off that you are that really handling it. Like, you can't handle reality if you're not really exposing reality. And so if you really want to handle reality, then you got to authenticate your process and everything that you're feeling, and do whatever you got to do to help me feel safe to you. If you feel like, hey, doc, I heard what you said, still don't feel like I organically want to open up for whatever reason, and I'm just going to say you're probably not feeling safe with me enough yet, and touche, I'm okay with that, but let's work on that. Let's really develop it. What do we got to do, you and me, to that I really do got your back, and that I'm not here philosophically trying to support some ideal. I'm trying to truly support Jesse, you, and I want to make sure you know that, feel that, and that I'm not somebody who's trying to like help Amy, deal with her fears that you might do something to yourself. And I mean, I don't know, maybe you don't feel that way, Amy, maybe you do, I don't even know. But look, this isn't my first rodeo. I've been doing this for about 30 years. So I'm just throwing out a whole shit ton of like hypothetical situations and things that I think are a little more common under these situations. You may not fit this model, but in case there's any truth in any of this stuff, I just wanted to get it out there, because it shouldn't be a threat to talk about. That's the way I think
Yeah,
of it.
I felt like that instantly when I learned that my son wasn't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I instantly wanted to go be with him.
There you go.
Throughout the night, throughout all of my days, it's a strong thought.
I hear you. And I get it. I get it. Now, I don't know what you got in the tank. I really, really don't. So that's what's going to threaten people like Amy is, number one, she's heard you say that now. So now she'll be worried about you. And that's okay. That's her shit to deal with, not yours. You do not worry about Amy worrying about you, because that's shit she's going to have to deal with. And I'll help her through it, if she wants me to. But the reality of all of this stuff is, and I don't know what you got in the tank, but I always say the greater the lock, the bigger the jewel inside. The more that this is difficult for you to work through, the more, if you can apply your courage to this thing, you'll get a hell of a lot more benefit. And if you really are looking for some form of sober lifestyle. And it doesn't mean 100% clean, but maybe for you it does. I don't know. I just like the term sober lifestyle. It doesn't matter how much you're drinking or using. I think anything that you can do to enhance your sobriety, you know, none of us are perfect, okay? But I think to have an aspiration to live a more sober lifestyle doesn't suck. I got to be honest with you, because that means you're dealing with life, you're dealing with reality. And I'll help you with that to whatever degree you want. I'm not expecting you to be perfect, and I don't want you to put that pressure on you unless you know that's your recipe for success, that you have to be perfect. In which case, just tell me and I'll back that as well. But I like to give humans a little wiggle room to be human, because otherwise, if any kind of slip up is failure, a guy like you could be fucked, if you don't mind me being so blunt, you know?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. But I know that I need to reach out and open these avenues and these doorways so that I can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the second, I feel like I want to go join my son, like I want to go be with him at any measure, whatever I'd had to do to get
Mm-hmm.
there.
Right.
But
Well,
I
you do
also,
know you're going to be with him eventually, no matter what. Nobody lives forever, right? So you
right,
do know that. I mean, and forever is an awfully long time. So if you're here for 60 more years, which is completely impossible mathematically, right? But if you're here 60 more years, that's relatively nothing compared to how much time you're going to be with him anyway. And if you feel like you really need to rush, I don't want you to miss whatever it is you're here to get. And if you were given such an incredible appointment, meaning like you're going to be the father of a son who passed away at 19, there's got to be something spiritually in it for you that I want you to get while you're here to learn from. Because I do believe that if you don't learn it this time, you come back the next time, you get the same cards dealt to you. I really believe that. I don't care what your beliefs is about God or reincarnation. I can't say I understand it, but to me, it makes sense that we come here and we evolve, and life evolves, and you know, we see it. And so whatever it is, I call it calls to answer. Whatever calls you have to answer, given that these are the cards that you've been dealt. Now, there's no denying that these cards sucked on one level. On another level, truly, you got this. You're going to have moments of not feeling like that. You're going to have moments of feeling incredibly defeated, hopeless, wondering what's the point, you know. And please, those feelings are valid. They're not like they're wrong, for God's sake. Those are some serious, honest, like inquiries and concerns, because they are valid. But the reality is, just as valid as that is, you're to grow through this, and that's for sure. And take your time. Don't rush. I don't know how fast you can grow. I don't know what your lesson's going to be, but you can do this. And the bottom line is, your son's not the only person that you're attached to. And, you know, this thing, like anything else, you know, I don't know who else would be left if you did something. Would they have to follow the two of you? And that, you know, so somewhere along the line, we're going to have to learn how to deal, you know, take the greatest burden we can find and bear it. Well, this is going to be by far your greatest burden, maybe for the rest of your life. I'm going to say this, hopefully this will be the greatest burden you're going to have to bear for the rest of your life, because you've already got this card dealt to you. And I'm thinking this is enough for any one man to have to carry, to be honest with you. But life being life, it's reasonable that you could burden others as well. Not you burdening them, that you can get other burdens on you as well. And, but this is plenty for a lifetime, you know, and I do want to see you grow through this. And if you did have addiction in your history, then creating purpose out of this, even if it's purposeless, but creating meaning out of a meaningless world doesn't suck. And I'll help you with that, because there's nothing wrong with you going, I became a man through this ridiculously painful, hard, dark time. The catastrophes, whatever you want to call it, they're real. But that doesn't necessarily mean that whatever's inside of you has to give way to that. And that doesn't mean I expect you to be Superman either. But I hope you're getting the sentiment of what I'm saying. If you're getting the sentiment, then I could stop talking for a
I
while.
want to say right there, Doc, that's my main. That's what I want to get to. I want to fully develop and fully finally grow up and be that man, because I know I can touch lives and maybe even save lives to once I get to a healthy point in my life where I'm able to deal with this a lot easier. That maybe somebody out here can hear me. But I do want to say, before my son passed, we were at each other's throat. and I was trying to get him to see how serious I was about quitting them pills. So I'd tell him, you know, like, I'm gonna whoop your ass, boy, or, you know, I'm gonna get in your ass, or I can tell. And one time he said, then quit doing that dope.
Woo.
And, you know, I didn't know how to act to that. I didn't know how to react or act.
That's might be the most honest thing you said right there. Keep that humility. That's really big. You know, not only is it true that you don't know how to act, you will never know how to act, but that humility, you know, the whole, I'm not a Bible touting guy, but the meek will inherit the earth is really true. It's something about when you say, I don't know, that you open yourself up to something much greater than you, because it's in the arrogance that we fuck ourselves up. It's in the arrogance, you know? So there's something about that as well. But I'm going to tell you this. I believe that your son's passing is going to help you, which now you can actually give his life more meaning if you let his passing be the cold shower to help you be the man that you know that you are to be and to grow spiritually. I can't think of a better way to pay homage to your son than to allow him to be so indelibly connected to your inspiration or motivation to improve yourself than to accept the baton of his passing and go, now he's with you in the field and he's going to help me for the rest of my life. And I'm going to do this to honor his life. I'm going to do this for us. I'm going to do this to heal our relationship for how we were at each other's throats. You know, he gave me a great gift and he's going to be with me. He's going to inspire me and motivate me to be the best that I can be. Probably through his passing, I will be better than if he didn't pass. How's that for like really paying homage to his life and or loving your son while you're still alive?
Doc, every one of your words right now seem dead on, seem so perfect.
Perfect.
And that's what I want to get to.
Well, you're getting there. If you're hearing the words and you're able to acknowledge them, isn't that good enough? I mean, dude, you're not perfect. You're a plant. You know, I water that plant, right? And that's what I'm doing. I'm giving you water right now, and that's it. And if I overwater it, you drown, right? You're not going to overwater the plant and make you grow any faster than you're going to grow. If you acknowledge that what I said was just perfect, then you got to honor that you're in a gestation period. We don't want to overwater it. I'll still talk with you, but I don't want you to push and be like, grow, motherfucker, grow. Like you're here hearing this now, and that's got to be enough. Whatever piece that you're able to impart from me talking with you right now, that's got to be enough. And I'll tell you, even if it was 1.01% of more peace, you take it because it's a step in the right direction, but I know you're getting a lot more than 0.01% peace. And will it wear off? Of course it will. You're human, you know? Of course you're going to feel responsible. Of course you're going to want to over-personalize this, you silly human. You're going to want to over-personalize it. You're going to want to take more responsibility as if you're God, as if you're life's intelligence, as if you were your son. And that's just the foolish way to process this. But it's, again, organic. It's normal. We do this as humans. We take things personally, or in your case, over-personalize things to make it about you so that you can have the guilt and you process your grief through guilt and through shame and through regret because you're at each other's throat. Or you begin the process of forgiving yourself and you become the man that you've always wanted to be, and you let your son be with you every step of the way to help you get there, because his death is like non-forgiving. We can't reverse it. It's not forgivable. It is what it is. So it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there as a source of support. And you got to learn how to lean on that.
Yeah.
If I'm too harsh, I'm being too New York, I'll soften a little bit because I'm feeling your response right here. I'm wondering if I'm being too arrogant in my talking. If I'm being too arrogant, please accept my apology. I get a little passionate at times, and if that's too much, I don't want to seem like I'm lecturing or.
No,
so
you're not. Like I need to hear. I like everything that you're saying. Everything that I like. I'm tuned in.
Right.
Nothing is too harsh.
Thank you. I'm feeling my tone is what I'm saying. I'm kind of trying to soften a little bit. I'm feeling how you responded to that, and I think I'm too jacked up, so forgive me for that. But content I'll melt on. I know the content's great. I'm trying to
kind of process what you just said too, Doc. Like you're saying some real stuff, and the way you're saying it is just like, oh shit, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grabbed a hold of it. I don't know if I did it the right way or how to do it mentally, but I'm grabbing a hold of everything you're saying.
Wonderful.
and it's giving me hope, and trying to accept and pull that all in at once. It's but I can see that my son's death can help me develop into the person I've always dreamed of, the real person, not some character I put together off the
There you
street.
go. There you go. There you go. And if you do it with his memory, then you're keeping him alive. He's not just a memory. That's how
And
you keep him alive.
it can all be healthy, and I can get the good and the positive out of it, and I can be okay and be at terms with it, and still be at peace. And I don't
Cool.
have to shower myself with all this guilt
Bingo.
and pain, and I can exercise that.
Bingo.
And not only do I see it like that, because I seen it, and I told my cousin Amy about it. You know that I want to on his death. I mean, I'm not trying to celebrate that my son's dead and gone, but I'm trying to celebrate and live my life the way that my son wanted me to when he said stop doing that dope. And since his death, I've been sober. I haven't gone to no meetings, but I've reached
Awesome.
out and I spoke with my cousin. I spoke with a couple other family members. I don't know how many friends I got right now because I'm restarting everything.
What if you see there's a direct correlation between you remaining sober and the moment of your son's passing? Would there at that point be any doubt that he is with you? I mean, can you explain it any other way except that his soul, his spirit, you can call it his memory, your love for him, his love for you? Is there any way to deny that there's a direct connection?
No,
Is there? There you go. There you go. And isn't that important to you to stay that connected to him now that he's gone? I mean, isn't that going to help you through whatever grieving process you have since his
it's the main
physical is?
ingredient, Doc.
What's that?
I said I think it's the main ingredient.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. So, and also I want you to know this, in moments where you are going to feel like you want to beat yourself up or take responsibility for his passing, you can give yourself permission to explore that as a possibility. You cannot entertain that as a truth because you don't know that. Just like you heard how I handled about, was his death suicide or accidental? Look, the bottom line is you are not allowed to have the arrogance to take responsibility for this. You can consider the possibility that you might have contributed to it, and I only said might. But, and I want you to, because I don't want the thought of that to be a threat. I want you to be able to consider the possibility that you may have contributed to pushing him over the limit, to taking more pills to find out where his limits were. Too late. Now he knows can't take that many. And I don't want that to be a threat to you. I want that to be an inspiration for that. His passing at that moment, he came into you. You've learned you're a better person because you're still alive. You are forgivable. You can be forgiven, and you can forgive yourself just by living a better life that has him alive in you, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. You get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Does any of this stuff feel philosophical? Because I'm making this shit up. So I just want you to know I didn't read this stuff. I'm not giving you some mumbo jumbo from a book. And so I really want to hear your feedback on that, because I'm not playing concept therapy here with you. I'm being what I believe is honest, and I want to hear your feedback on that.
The first couple words, we said to each other, I felt connected. I know that it's real. I know that you're not here to bullshit me or waste my time or your time.
You getting me, man. You're getting me. Then I'm doing my part. Just so you know, my wife died when she was 27 years old. I had a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. That was in 1998. So with all due respect, sir, I've been in your shoes, and I was standing where you were standing unbelievably 22 years ago. And so I can tell you that I've had no choice. I've had to be a better man because I had to live through that. Now, people talk all the time, the loss of a child is a lot worse than the loss of a loved one. And I'm not going to argue that. Humility there, though raising kids by yourself with the loss of a loved one ain't easy either, and you're trying to help your 2-year-old remember her mother. And you can only be so good at that. You can only show so many pictures and videos, So there's some aspects that I'm sure it's harder losing a son, but this isn't a competition. I'm just telling you, we're bonded forever because of, this kind of loss.
I'm sorry you went through that.
Yeah.
And it opens up that trust. I can trust what you're saying to me is real, knowing that you went through something similar.
I'm still going through it, man, and so will you. You'll never get over this, but it's never going to stop continuing making you the man that you're born to be either. You know, and he'll be with you, helping you because of it. But the pain ain't going to go away. But you'll make peace over the fact that he's helping you
See,
wherever
and
he
that's the
is.
point there, that pain that we're
Mhm.
talking about, Doc. I don't want to have to look at that pain and be so sour that I I get these childish um,
Nice.
thoughts to where I have to go back and act out and get high and thinking that I'm gonna numb any of it because
Hmm.
I know today that it's gonna be there. So I want to learn to deal with it
Yeah,
properly.
you will. You will. Let me tell you something, and I really believe this. As long as I'm in your life, as long as I'm breathing, and I can't promise you I'm always going to be breathing, but if I am breathing, I'll be available to you. So I'm only a choice away. That's number one. But as long as I'm breathing, I can't promise you that you're going to stay sober all the time. I can't promise you that you may not ever get high, but I promise you if you did, you'll get back here. And I promise you that the moments that you would get high, they're going to diminish both in intensity and frequency. And that's if it happens at all. I'm not really even sure if it's going to happen. That's the humility in me. But the reality is, not all is lost if you were to get high one time or were to feel guilty or, got human on us because you are human. Okay. So I'm not expecting perfection. And I don't want you to put that kind of pressure on yourself. Not that pressure. There's nothing wrong with holding out a goal to stay sober for the rest of your life. And I honestly believe, like I said before, the more you feel your son with you, I think you'll be successful. I think when you forget your son, it will be harder. But if you can remember what I've said, then I think it's going to help tremendously. If you can remember what I said, because I think it'll inspire you to stay sober. But I'm not expecting perfection out of you, and I don't want you to expect that either. And if you do fall down, I want you to know that you will get back up, that it's not all is lost just because you fell down. And don't make any moment any more significant than other moments. It's the life that matters. You're on this kind of trajectory now.
Well, with the people that are around me, whether they're friends or family, yesterday they were drinking and I had a couple people, I used to shoot methamphetamine and heroin in my arm every day, all day long.
Wow.
Uh,
That's
being
powerful, man. That's powerful.
being that maybe it was a joint or a beer, you know, to them, oh, I'm still doing better. But to me, I had that instant guilt as soon as I took the hit off of that joint or I took the first sip of that beer because it's the same thought process
I get
as
it.
if I was using drugs. Any drugs, the harder drugs
Hmm.
I choose. It's the same sense of, oh, I can take this beer, it's going to get rid of this pain. And I
Hmm.
know that it's not going to. So the
Hmm.
guilt right that I had right after that was even heavier.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I love that you're saying this. I got 1,000 things to say about this. Number one, I feel your son got that same feeling. I really believe that. I believe that was exactly what caused him to do 20 more pills, to be honest with you. I really, really feel that. And all those feelings that you shared with me right now, that was as a historian. You were talking about your past. That was before you actually had your son, having passed away, being on the other side, unbelievably unconditionally connected to you now. It's undeniable for all times, helping you, being part of this. It's a game changer now that this had happened, because before you were kind of going it alone. Now you're really not. And that's going to make a huge difference for you. So I don't want you to treat this as if it's the same. It's apples and oranges. There's life before he passed and life after he passed. And I do believe you're going to have a lot more support from the other side now that he passed. And I don't think that's philosophy.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a different life, and I don't want you to treat it like it's the same. There's always going to be, your life is never going to be the same. There's always going to be, you know, life before he passed and life after he passed. And as much as you would never, ever want him to pass, you are going to be a better person because of this. And there's nothing wrong with giving it to him and his life and what he meant to you, and all of that stuff, and give him his just rewards for the support that he is going to give you from the other side. He deserves that acknowledgement. He really does.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I like because a lot of people, before I had this meeting with you or with my cousin, it was They, you know, they were saying that like he's gonna be with you now. He's gonna be with you now, and I couldn't see it
It didn't make sense, but now it's making sense.
exactly.
I get it. I get it.
Now it's clear. I can really see that he's gonna be a real big part of everything that I do throughout.
Phew. Maybe since your words are so strong, and since you're acknowledging the strength of my words, because if my words weren't so strong, I couldn't explain it better than everybody else who said it to you, right? But yet I was able to like drive it home for you, right? Maybe you should start writing about it so that you can find your own voice, hear your own words, and know that you're not philosophizing, knowing that you're discovering your voice through his passing, and that everything that I'm saying doesn't have to be a hope, that you can integrate it by making my words your own and start really getting this stuff out. Like that's your homework, dude. Seriously, is to start putting this in your own words. Not what did Dr. Michael say? Let me see what I can remember. How am I hearing this? How am I knowing that he's with me? And just seeing where you go with it as a creative, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel good?
Yes.
Since you're good, strong with words, I'm sure you're going to say things that I won't say and vice versa, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So that'll probably help you, you know, especially when it's coming from your own inner wisdom. You know, there it is. Touch into that inner wisdom. That's it. Yeah. Tap that inner wisdom like that at that level, you'll be fine. Try to do it without tapping your own inner wisdom. You could see how you're going to make it a lot harder than you need to, because that resource is there and he's in there in that inner wisdom. So yeah. Yeah. So do this homework. Are you comfortable doing homework? Like something like that? If you don't like the word homework, because that makes you make like this to it, you know, but
yeah, I like that word homework because I know that I'm a student right now in this whole process.
So repeat to me, what is your homework? So I know that you understand what I'm saying. What is your homework?
So
Put it in your words.
I need to sit down and write out how I'm feeling, what I see, where I can see that I have to incorporate him as my main ingredient, as the main tool, so that I can understand your words and make them my words when discovering my own voice.
Okay. Let me help it to you, okay? So what you said before that you just left out just now is everybody was saying to you, he's going to be with you, he's with you, he's with you. And it was more philosophical. And just now I said whatever I said that made you understand that it wasn't just philosophy. Now you can really get he's with you. That's what I want you to say in your own words. How is he with you? How was when he passed? How is his memory? How is your love going to keep him alive? How was that moment that he passed? Is he really with you for real? I want to hear it in your words, because, and if you want, I'll say it again, you know, if you need me to, but maybe.
Yeah, one more time, Doc.
Okay. Well, here's the bottom line. The minute he passed, you had his like spirit, the pain of him to be gone, to make you a better person, because you could possibly feel responsible, silly human, over personalizing, right? Because you want to take ownership of the totality of his passing, as opposed to, well, maybe I may have contributed somewhat to this demise, which is possible. And you don't want to be threatened by asking. You definitely want to explore the possibility that that could be, because you don't want to be threatened by that. But since his life and his passing is so non-forgivable, you are forgivable. You can improve. And the fact that he passed is going to help you improve, because you want to remember him. You want to remember his life. You want to give his life and your love more of an influence in your life, because you want to remember him. You want to honor him. You want to honor his life. You want to honor his memory. You want to honor him being with you, helping you. And so you have all of that as inspiration to make you a better man and to live a more sober lifestyle, whatever that is for you, and to continue to grow, to honor that he is indeed with you, listening to that inner wisdom, which includes him, so that he is with you. If he's in that wisdom and you're tuning into it and you're actually accessing wisdom where you can word this your own way, then you're keeping him alive, and it's not philosophical. Did I make sense there? Okay. Now, that may be a bitch for you to do it in your own way, but you start. You might suck at it the first time, but you'll get better at it the second time, and then the third time, and the fourth time. And I call this finding your voice. And I'm using your voice, but it's really the inner wisdom. But since you're going to be quote unquote channeling this inner wisdom, the mind thinks of it as like like you're saying it as if you're the source of creation, as opposed to you're getting quiet and hearing it,
Doc, can I have my cousin Amy say exactly what you said to me to explain it?
I'm going to see if she will. I don't know if she can, but she might suck at it, but she'll do the best she can. Go ahead.
I don't know. Like, what do you want me to do?
What I just said, what I just did. Like, could you explain to him how his son is indeed with him right now?
Can I explain it? The fact that he's, oh God, I hope I'm doing this right. I don't know. I'm gonna suck at it, I think. But the fact that you're here and so eager to become a better person, he lives in you that way because he wanted you to be the father, the man, the boyfriend, the husband that you've always wanted to be, and he knows that it's in there for you. But that's how your son is going to make you a better person in this after he's dead, and so you use that, and you know that he wants that for you, and you honor him by living
that strength, that encouragement, that motivation, that
inspiration.
Yeah, the inspiration.
Yeah. Okay. So you take that, and you know that he wants you to be a better person, and you take that every day, and you remember that. You say it in the morning, first thing in the morning when you wake up, and you talk to him, and you let him know, I'm here with you, and take it day by day.
And you're keeping his memory alive then, because you're again, it was one of my favorite lines that I came up with years ago, and it still holds up. Remember the love, not the loss. If you're focusing on the loss, you're not remembering him. You're focusing on him being gone, but you're not remembering him. You're remembering the loss, and you want to remember him and his life and what his life meant and how his life and his passing is inspiring you to be a better person through that love. So you remember the love, not the loss. If you focus on the loss, oh, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. You're going to go to some serious dark places. If you're going to be like, I was this guy's only father. He was my son. I got to be his father. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I loved this kid. He loved me. We had moments. We were human. We all struggled at times, but I got to be his only dad. I'm his blood father. And I'm forever grateful for that I was worthy to be this kid's father. And I'm going to remember his love. I'm going to remember his memory, and I'm going to live the rest of my life in love for this boy.
So what you want him to write down is it the way he's going to show appreciation and love?
No, I think for him, it was just like when he was saying before that when he was hearing people saying he's going to be with you, and he was acknowledging that my words made it make sense. And then you saying that he is also strong with his words. I wanted him to use his words to make that make sense. And to be okay not knowing initially, Jesse, but to begin the process of discovering your words on, so it's not philosophical that your son is going to live with you and he's going to be with you forever. I want to hear you say that for the rest of my life, I'm going to want to be a better man because of his passing, to be able to deal with the catastrophes of life, to deal with the fact that I feel responsible to some degree. So I am forgiven. I want to improve myself as a way of making restitution to myself, or forgiving myself for being human and being imperfect, or even taking on responsibility, feeling like I'm significantly responsible for his passing, which is a silly thing to do, but we do it as humans. So you can acknowledge that this is not something that you're just afflicted with. This is what a human does, and that you're going to continue to better yourself because he passed and because he's with you, and you're connected forever for the rest of this lifetime in your experience of being human forever. And I want to use that motivation, inspiration to actually become the better man, knowing he's with me. The story is with me. My love for him is with me, and it's gonna help me along the way. And in that regard, I'm going to keep him alive, and I'm going to be successful out of testimony to my love for him. I'm going to have a better chance at having a more sober lifestyle. But you saying all that in your own words, so this way you're not just philosophizing. You get it?
We can do that tonight. I think we can go get a book and stuff. Like, you know what helps me, Doc, sometimes is when I have a goal or something like that, the first thing I do is I say my gratitude waking up. I try to make it the first thing I do.
Nice.
I know, you know what I mean? So what if we implemented that some way with Jesse.
I wouldn't want to do that yet because I have a thing called Succession 7, and there are a bunch of steps before gratitude. The one right before gratitude is actually called sanctification, where you actually attribute purpose or meaning to something. Like it happened for a reason. It happened for you, not to you. You're not a victim of this. I've heard this line by Einstein. I believe it's Einstein. Don't quote me on this, but that the universe is conspiring for your benefit. Like the universe is always conspiring for your benefit, and that's true. And so you might feel sorry for yourself, but it's, oh, you silly human. It's small thinking. But in reality, in a world filled with so much intelligence and so much wisdom, and sometimes we can get blinded by our own self-pity, by feeling sorry for ourselves, that we forget how much gratitude we have. So instead of just being grateful, synthetically for something that you're not feeling grateful for, but you're going to force feed yourself gratitude. If you can create what I call sanctification, where you're seeing the purpose and the reason that things are happening, like it's happening for you and for your benefit. And it's a great writer. You're telling the story as to how it's benefiting you. And if your story is really good and you're able to like sell yourself on the story, then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, but that's true. That is why this happened. Now, organically, you're grateful. And that's more important than doing it synthetically. But even that, I think, is too premature, given how soon your son passed. And quite frankly, how pregnant the words have been that I already shared with you. I don't want to compete. I don't want to give you too much where it's going to diminish what we've already shared, because I believe it's that pregnant and that like I'm just going to be so arrogant and say, I think it's like a really direct hit of what's going to be optimally supportive for you right now. I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me at all, Jesse, or anything else? I mean, like just to help you integrate this. I mean, I know you know what your assignment is, your homework, but I mean, just to keep this as light or as non-linear as possible, and just to trust your own instincts. If you did have questions, what would you ask? If you had any question to ask me, what would it be? I love it. Stop thinking, man. I love it. I'll take it. No, stop.
Is it okay if
That's good.
Is Billy able to? Is it okay if we bring his girlfriend in? She's a huge support system.
Sure, absolutely. Bring her in.
So, Doc, this is Belly.
Hello.
Hey, what's your name?
Alicia.
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 Felicia. Okay, cool. Hello, Felicia.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Let me see that tattoo. What is, oh, there you go. Well, isn't that profound?
Yeah.
The butterfly, right? The cocoon, the whole caterpillar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does it mean that for you too? Are you like a freak about freedom? Is that like what that is?
Not really. It's something that my sister and I got when my younger sister passed away. So.
Okay. Same idea though. Caterpillar becoming the butterfly, the chrysalis and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Fly on, sis.
Okay.
So tell me about you and what are you doing here talking to me?
Well, I am Jesse's girlfriend. I've been with him for a little over a year and a half. And we're meeting with you because unfortunately he lost his son, and
and what's the role you're going to play in all this? Do you have a sense, like, because you're his girlfriend, like the role that you're playing in this?
Just to support, being his support, staying strong, trying to give him some positive reinforcement and feedback, and hope, just trying to keep him on the right path.
Well, how are you feeling about it? Because I'm going to call you the ready. You are the spotter. So tell me, report to me what you're seeing. How's everything going? How do you think he's doing as a spotter? Give me the lay of the land. I know it's unfortunate that his son passed, but how is everything playing out from your perspective?
Well, right now he's hanging in there. I don't know if he's showing so many emotions, but I mean, I know he's not showing too many emotions.
Okay.
I'm telling him stay strong. Everybody's telling him stay strong, and he is as far as he can, but I know he hasn't broke down and like really felt what's going on yet. And I'm worried for him when he does, because I don't want him to go down the wrong path.
Did you hear any of the conversation that I had with him yet at all? None? Okay. All right. Do you know anything about me at all, particularly about like what I do or anything?
Amy spoke highly about you, and she's told us a lot of good things, and that you help people through hard times and just everyday life.
So how can I help you right now then, just to like, so we can find out if that's true or not. What are you thinking that you're needing as support right now? Is there anything, or is it one of no, Felicia got this? or is there anything else?
have this. I mean, I've been through this with my sister. She committed suicide, my younger sister, and my mom. I see my mom go through this 5 years ago. Well, and it's similar.
Wow. Wow. That's not a coincidence, man.
Yeah, and
Damn.
so I mean, um, I haven't cried a lot about it, but I want to think it's because I know he's in a better place, and not just to stay strong for Jesse, but I mean, I seen how he was hurting, and whether it was accidental or intentionally, I just want. I mean, I know my sister's in a better place. I know he is.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that question. You read my mind. So let me ask you, do you actually feel your sister with you? What's your sense of that?
I know she's with me. I want to say when I need her, I know she's. I like to think she's with me all the time,
But when you need her is when you tune in.
for sure.
Okay,
And
cool. And she's always there. And she's always there.
and my mom's pointed a lot of things out to me. So like coincidence don't come about. So
Well, let me give you what I'm getting right now, okay? Through the depth of your experience with your sister, you're carrying a resonance that's absolutely unbelievable. Like, I can't even tell you the level of comfort of your presence. And I'm talking to me here, and I'm not even going through what Jesse's going through right now. You're holding some kind of space that's just, for me, I'm going to use the word transcendent. And the reason I use that word is because it's not normally held as humans. Like, you had to, like, and I think it's organic for you too. I just want to share that. I'm not saying you're not choosing it, or you don't, like, your intention isn't to be the most support, but the kind of chill, almost Zen-like energy, like, I'm going to give you the word, like, all is well. And I really want you to feel that. And you're carrying that, like, all is well. And my love to say, all is well, always has been, always will be. Your vibe is putting that out. And just for that reason only, I just want to say thank you on behalf of a human helping other humans. I don't know if you can do better than your energetic contribution. As a matter of fact, I think you even know that. I think you may feel helpless and not knowing what to say or what to do. And so let me just help you chill out and realize you're doing plenty in the space that you're holding. And there are no words that can match that. And I want you to feel that. And then I want you to also maybe recognize that I'm right on with that, and give yourself permission to claim that,
thank you.
Yeah. Well, you're feeling it, right? I'm not just saying that. I wouldn't say it if I wasn't feeling it off of you. You're carrying a certain wisdom that all is well. And I want you to just remember that terminology. All is well, always has been, always will be, because your resonance is that supportive. It deserves that kind of reinforcement. You might as well know you're doing it, right? So it'll help you amplify it or do it consciously, especially moments when you're feeling like, I want to do more. Breathe, man. All is well. And you'll melt into that, and your resonant contribution is going to be greater than anything else you can say or do. And you feeling that?
I do, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, I feel complete unless you have any questions for me. Is there anything you want to ask me at all, or anything else? Or it's hard to, after you knock that one out of the park, it's hard to follow up on that one. I know.
It's nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
And see and hear and put a voice to.
The thing that I worry about for her is that when Jesse goes down this mean spiral, if he goes down a mean spiral, like, how does she protect herself and help Jesse as well?
He's doing it. Same space. The bottom line is, if he goes down this, which I'm not even convinced, because I believe my session with him is really going to help a lot. And it's not because my words are so powerful. It's that what I was channeling was, like, literally what I was conceding to, like, the reality of what his process is. I think he's going to have moments of dipping his toe in there. He'll have moments of feeling sorry for himself, moments of self-pity, moments, I call it over-personalizing.
Oh, no.
What, froze again? Bottom line is, if he does go down that, number one, he's going to come out of it. This is not going to be, like I told him, as long as I'm breathing, and now he's got you, and I'm going to appoint you as the ultimate spotter. And really, all I'm going to commission you to do is just do what you're doing with me right now. All is well, always has been, always will be. Trust that whatever he's going through is part of his process, and he needs to go through it. He's going to be better because of this. It's going to take a while. Initially, it's going to be more touch and go, but he's going to pick up steam as life goes on.
I do have one issue. So, like you said, you don't feel like he's gonna go the wrong way. He's gonna
For too long. He'll probably dip his toe in, but.
And does he talk to him about drugs and things like that? Okay, so the one problem we have had before this all happened was I've been sober for a year now, and he has kind of gone back and forth, and that's just something like I don't want to deal with. And I know this is going to be something more that may hopefully not take him back to that life or down that path. But what do I do when he does? Like, because I want to stand my ground and I want him to know I love him so much, but me as a person, I can only.
Well, here it is. I'm going to give you the line. Okay. You serve others when you can, yourself when you must. If you can be there for him, if you've got something in the tank, fucking man, give it. Share from your abundance. If you got it. Now, if you can't and you're starting to wig out and you're starting to feel like a little wonky yourself, you got to pull away, man. Even if it's temporary. I don't know how long it's going to be, but you got to take care of yourself because you have to. But if you're abundant, you got to share from your abundance. If you're not abundant, you got to care for yourself. And you want to give when you can give. And that's the law. That's the law. You serve others when you can, yourself when you must. Just like right now, if you decide you got diarrhea, you're like, Dr. Mike, I wish I can talk to you. I got to go to the bathroom right now. You run, you go, because it's not negotiable. And you got to make it not negotiable. But if you don't have diarrhea, you can sit here and talk with me right now, right? You got a little in the tank, right? And that's really, it's a crazy analogy, but it works. Right? People get that. But I want you to know that that's really important, that you serve others when you can, yourself when you must. In our society, we're just getting so like ridiculously self-obsessed that we're caring for ourselves consistently. And then you're not making the kind of contribution that you're born to make, not just to Jesse, but for your own emergence, for you to see how, look, now that you hold this resonance. Maybe you knew that, maybe you suspected it, maybe you didn't. If maybe it's the first time someone ever told you that the space that you're holding is absolutely incredible and the best that you can do, maybe now you start embracing that. Maybe now you start finding out who you're going to be through that. Now that you've embraced this, what's next for you? And you're going to learn a lot about yourself by serving Jesse through this. You really are. You're going to learn a lot, but you're also going to have to recognize when those times when you need a break, or you got to get away, or this is too close. This is between Jesse and Jesse. This is Jesse's process exclusively. I can't observe this. My sobriety is at stake. And I just got to go. I got to take a walk. I got to go around the block. I got to take off for a day, a week, a month, a year. I don't know when you can return, but I know that you're going to know when it's non-negotiable and where self-love becomes a thing, where it's not negotiable. Cool?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, that's exactly an hour. I'm feeling good. I know you guys feel all good?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's do something again next week. Hopefully you'll all be here and we'll see if we can get away with 30 minutes. If we can, great. If not, we'll just do another hour. Okay. Well, let's do this again next week.
Yeah, no, that would be amazing, Doc. And
all right.
I appreciate it so much.
Cool.
And I'll make that happen.
All right. Well, nice meeting everybody. Okay.
Nice to meet you, Doc. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.